And today we'll be watching Pixar's Luca. It's incredibly underrated. I remember hearing about Luca. Is it not the one where if he touches water he turns into a fish? So he's basically like Dude Ariel. I ain't gonna watch it. Let's see what's up. Mm, mm.
Well, summer's finally here. The worst time to do literally anything. Not that it matters to me very much, because the only time I go outside is to pick up my daily 4 Uber Eats orders. It's gotten to the point now where the Uber Eats app is like, we noticed you ordered Subway 8 times this week. You're not alone. Help is available. But all the same, this summer here.
Nah. How many of y'all are gonna get hit with that if that were a real thing? If Uber would actually not focus on making all the money in the world off of people being lazy, how many of y'all would get hit with the uh we see you ordered your second your fifth large pizza this week. Here's BetterHelp. Uh get in contact with our therapist and we'll help you. Or they just send you a link to sign up for a My 600 Pound Life. That'd be nasty work.
I wanted to do some summer type movies, you know? Like I did Mamma Mia a couple months ago, but surely there must be more summer movies. Back during COVID lockdown, tons of movies were coming straight to streaming. Remember that? Like so many movies just came and went and no one ever thinks about them now. Like for example, Pixar put out Soul, Turning Red, Onward, Lightyear, Element.
You know what's crazy? I watched Soul when I was abusing the Disney Plus free pass, or either my mom bought it. I don't know. Yeah, I've seen Soul. It's alright. I haven't seen
And
any.
Luca all during this time? Everyone loves Turning Red, but like no one remembers anything about any of these
I'm
other ones,
feeling
like
like
at all. And I was thinking about how like maybe these movies didn't get a fair shake. It was a weird time, you know, like every single commercial was like, hey guys, life's real crazy right now, but we're all in this together, so like buy a new car or something or whatever. But all the same, Luca came out in 2021. It got good reviews, people liked it well enough, but like I said, it was just so ephemeral. And so looking at some summer movies to make videos about, I wanted to go back and check out Luca. So come along kids, let's take a walk. But before that really quick show. The movie starts out with our main character, Luca, who's like a merman fish shepherd.
Wait!
Damn. I don't know. It's not very believable. I'm not sure fish go bad like a sheep. Hmm. I'm not sure what to think about it.
Get back here!
Just a quick
Yeah.
shout out to Pixar here for not using the goat scream meme, which was funny for all of 2
Mm.
weeks back in 2009 and never again. But someone in Hollywood still thinks this is comedy gold, I tell you what. Anyway, so Luca's just your average 13-year-old merman who just kind of like lives the same day over and over again, doing chores, never leaving his home, always wondering what's above the surface of the ocean but too scared to find out.
Nemo? Touch it.
Luca,
Huh?
what's on your mind?
I was just wondering, where do boats come from?
Oh, trust me, Luca.
Ooh. How do I tell you, big bro? When a mommy boat and a daddy boat love each other very much, they hold hands to make a baby boat.
Nothing good goes on up there. Open up any social media app and scroll for just like a little bit too long and you're just like,
I don't wipe my ass, so I do get yeast infections more often than most.
Yeah, you don't need to be sharing that with everybody, bro. Like, sometimes just not telling anybody is great. And also, might be your butt.
Most people.
Oh yeah, when she goes to the vagina doctor, ugh, that can't be a good experience. No, nah. Whoever her vagina doctor is comes in with a nose plug and like 2 sets of gloves just to make sure he doesn't catch any poop on his finger.
Lord, I am ready. Take me in your arms. But okay, so one day Luca's out herding his fish, as one does, and he finds something a little interesting at the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, How is it still working?
Now, he was curious before, okay, but obviously this makes his interest in the human world, like, even stronger. So, Ariel sings a song about wanting to be part of the outside world and look at everyone's feet, or whatever the song's about. But then the chief of the island's like, no, Moana, you're staying here, because it's too dangerous. But then Rapunzel's like, shut up, you're not my real mom. This is my house too, okay? But turns out Luca's grandma has been to the surface before?
The land monster town, just above the surface. I beat a guy at cards there once.
Damn, Grandma, what were you doing back in the day, huh? What are you doing, Grandma? What were you doing back in the day? Yo, hold on. Nah, I'm just making sure I'm making sure my mic's catching what I'm saying. I know I'm talking low because my mom's home. Don't want to shout. She's working right now.
Mom, what are you doing?
He's old enough to hear about it.
You've been to the surface and done the change?
No, the end. Shut it down.
You ever, like, hang out with old people and they'll just casually drop the most insane lore for no reason? Hey, Grandma, I'm almost done making your favorite breakfast, applesauce and medicine. You know, back in the 70s, I killed 2 of my husbands with antifreeze.
Yeah, bro, they really do just be telling random stuff. I remember one day I was talking with my grandma, and she just told me how, like back in the day, uh, when my mom was younger, her and her siblings, her and her family, moved to Atlanta for a little bit. So there's a real reality where I end up being a Atlanta water boy, a YN, and me and little baby used to be friends. That's a real possibility.
Say what? But okay, so one day, probably the next day, I assume, Luca's out doing whatever he does, and then something a little weird happens.
Oh, they coming for his butt. Damn.
No gods or kings, only man.
Huh?
It's fine. I'm not human.
So this little dude is Alberto,
Cool.
and he loves to swim around and gathering up all the human garbage he can find. Asmongold, and then just
Yeah.
takes it all up to the surface?
He did it.
What are you doing?
Okay, boom. Completely random, right? I posted a video about 2 days ago about random shower thoughts, right? And one thing that came up was aliens and what's at the bottom of the ocean or what's on a planet that's only water. And I had some thoughts of what aliens or what Atlanteans, for all intents and purposes, could look like. And my thoughts were I was crossing my fingers that they're just like Kryptonians or Viltrumites. They just kind of look like us, but are like different. And then I kind of made some jokes about if we were able to live all in peace and whatnot, would you date an alien? And I was like, yes. Would I date an Atlantean too? Is she bad? You know what I'm saying? Hey man, say man. Hey. Question. So if humans go into the water, do they transform too? Or is it kind of just like a merman exclusive?
Help me!
First time?
Oh no, Luca,
Yeah.
you're human now. Don't do it. This is how it starts. Next thing you know, you're walking down the frozen dinner aisle looking at the packages and thinking, oh wow, that is a good amount of protein for 500 calories. Meanwhile, there's a bag of broccoli in the back of your freezer. It's been there since like 9/11 happened, just disintegrating into dust and broken dreams. Anyway, turns out Alberto's just like some orphan mermaid kid who just like hangs out all day. It's very like Ghibli-esque kind of place. Really, this whole movie has some great Ghibli vibes, which was intentional apparently. And like it really sets this movie apart. Like it gives it such a cozy kind of feeling that I don't think any other Pixar movie has. But okay, so the next chunk of the movie is just about like Luca and Alberto being friends, and Alberto's teaching him all about how to be human. You know, like how to walk.
Wait, it feels like it's still there.
Yeah, that's called Phantom Tail. You'll get used to it.
Jesus Christ.
Right. Walking. Don't worry, you're in luck. I basically invented.
And
Yeah.
most importantly, how to ride a Vespa.
Question. If they make, depending on where this movie goes, do they ever get to like, the point of why they're just like this? Because in Young Justice, hold on, let me drop some more, y'all. In Young Justice, Vandal Savage was really the person who invented Atlantis. That's kind of a mark. Vandal Savage created Atlantis by just sinking, by sinking some city into the ocean, and then whoever survived became the Atlanteans. So is it like that? If you just manage to like survive being in the water, you kind of turn into a fish person? Or my theory on how mermaids were made by someone banging their goldfish.
Now, this is a huge pivotal plot point here because for some reason, Alberto and Luca are just real set on living out their Lizzie McGuire movie dreams, you know, getting their own Vespa and just kind of hey nowing their way all over Italy.
Hey
Nay,
now,
the world.
rock star.
What's that?
Oh, it's just the greatest thing that humans ever made. The Vespa.
Nah, the greatest thing humans have ever made, the internet. No matter how you feel about it, you use it every day. The internet is top 5 human inventions. Also, pizza, most versatile food. No, I mean, humans didn't create rice. We kind of found it, but rice. No, I'm gonna go food in general. So that's 2, internet food. What else? I don't know. Top 5 human inventions. Cars, phones, TV.
Whoa.
You just sit on it, and it takes you anywhere you want to go. In the whole stinking world.
Vespa.
Well, actually, it doesn't go on water, so you can't go through the whole world.
Is freedom.
Now, this whole idea is very appealing to Luca because he spent his whole life herding fish to and fro, but also his parents have started to catch on to his little shenanigans of going to the surface of all things. See, I knew letting you on that has-been hotel RP Discord would lead to nothing but trouble.
The world is a very dangerous place, Luca. And if I have to send you to the bottom of the ocean to keep you safe,
Whoa.
so be it.
You don't know what it's like up there.
I know you. And I know what's best for you.
You know, few things are more frustrating than parents who, like, think they know you, but, like, they literally don't. Now, Luca's parents are done letting their son be raised by TikTok and video games, all right? So, they call in the dad's brother, aka Luca's uncle, because that's how that works. And this guy knows a thing or two about troubled teens, okay?
Too much oxygen up here, not like the deep.
I don't think this is the guy. Yeah. I'm just gonna assume like the deep is the trenches. This like the conversation my parents this conversation like my parents used to have with me when I was a kid and I didn't want to like do good in school. We'll send you back to Nigeria. Yeah. Don't send a person like this.
Sure, there's no sunlight, but there's nothing to see anyway. All
Dang.
the whale carcass you can eat. You can't see it, so if the mouth opened, the whale carcass go in. Yes.
You know, I feel like everyone has that one, like, absurdly out-of-pocket uncle who's just always like, yeah, you know, I used to be married, but she left me for a polar bear. I don't trust banks, so I keep all my money folded between craft singles. Sometimes I wonder, like, you ever teeth? So the plan is to send Luca away with his uncle to the depths of the ocean so he can spend the
Why would you do that? Bro, you didn't see how he couldn't even see. Bro, his eyes were so crossed. No offense to my cross-eyed people, but he does not look like the most reliable thing in the ocean.
summer in darkness. But so now especially, Luca wants that Vespa to ride around with Alberto all day, every day, doing cool human stuff like being on hold with the DMV for 4 hours, and then they tell you have to come in person. So then you go there and you wait another 2.5 hours, and then the girl behind the desk is like, hey, did you know that you can do all this over the phone instead? Wow, why didn't I think of that? So they head into the local town of Porto Rosso to find Senor Vespa and get their complimentary Vespa from the teen coming-of-age movie factory.
Ride of Porto Rosso coming through! Ciao, Belle. You're making me blush. And now, who wants to watch me eat a big sandwich?
So this guy is Hercule, the coolest dude in town, in case you couldn't tell. And he bought his Vespa by winning this like local triathlon thing the town puts on every year. And he's won it like 5 times in a row, much to the chagrin of local redhead Spitfire quirky girl, Julia.
That's how you're training for the race?
Certo, your reign of terror is
Coming to an end. You mean like a year ago, when you quit in the middle of the race? Because you couldn't stop throwing up?
I didn't quit. They made me stop.
I think that is worse.
So Luca and Alberto figure that Julia must know a thing or two about how Hercule got that Vespa, right? And she tells them that every year there's this Porto Rosso competition for 12 to 16-year-olds. They have to do like a swimming thing, eat a huge plate of pasta, and then ride a bike on this crazy mountain course. And apparently winning this gives 12-year-olds enough money to buy a Vespa. Like,
Jesus.
The heck kind of place is this? And so, long story short, Luca and Alberto team up with Julia to enter the competition. They want the money for a Vespa, obviously, but Julia doesn't really seem to care much about the money itself. She's only in it for revenge.
Why do you want a Vespa again?
Oh, because it'll be amazing. Every day, me and Alberto are gonna ride someplace new. How about you? What'll you do when you win?
Oh, I'll get up in front of everyone and say, told you I'd win.
Yeah. And then what?
Well, that's it.
So, like, I was curious, and I looked this up, and apparently Hercule is 18. He just spends all of his time...
Yeah, not gonna lie, no cap. That's a real winner mentality. You don't care about the money. You just want to flex on it. Yeah. I'm not even mad at her.
Stunting on 13-year-olds. Like, what a guy. And so our 3 main characters train and practice. Julia's gonna swim, Luca's gonna do the bike part, and Alberto has the very difficult task of eating pasta. Now, during all this training, Luca, Alberto, and Julia are quickly becoming friends, and Luca gets really interested in this weird thing called school.
This is how machines fly?
See?
And there are big towns called cities, and we're all on a big round rock, floating around a star in the solar system.
So cool, right?
And is there anything
How does he know how to read?
beyond the solar system?
I don't know. But next year in advanced astronomy, I'm going to use my school's telescope.
But Alberto's starting to become a little jealous of Luca and Julia's friendship because Luca is his friend, okay? And here comes some girl with, like, hair and stuff, and her comically deep knowledge of space, trains, and dinosaurs, and she's like, hi, I like rocks, and I'm emotionally unavailable. And then Luca's over here like... And by Luca, I mean me, and by Julia, I mean every girl I've ever dated. But, like, Alberto just wants to ride their Vespa around the world together, you know? And Luca's over here talking about going to school like a nerd.
Julia says there's an even bigger one at our school.
The whole reason we're getting a Vespa is to live on our own. We don't need school. We don't need anybody.
Couldn't we just try it?
I ain't gonna lie, bro. He smells like one of them red pill guys. We don't need school. We just need a Vespa.
Just for a few days?
Luca, sea monsters can't go to school.
Now, this kind of erupts into something a lot bigger than any of them intended when Alberto tries to ruin Luca and Julia's friendship by exposing himself to Julia. Wait, guys, no, hold on. Let's try that one again. By exposing them as mermen to Julia.
Whoa.
Don't hurt us!
See? I knew this would happen.
Monster!
Luca?
Just switched up on the bros. Bro, humans may be a lot of things. We not maybe some bad people, some of us, but at least some of us got some loyalty. Dang. You gonna switch up on your people about some school and a girl.
Stay back!
Luca, my dude, what the heck? heck? I was on your side. Why'd you have to go and do that? Slight tangent here, but I do appreciate that they let Luca, like, make mistakes and kind of be bad or whatever. Like, so many modern movies, they're so afraid of having their main characters, like, be an imperfect human who gets caught up in their emotions. That's one thing about the Disney live-action remakes that always kind of annoys me, is, like, the main characters are always just these, like, perfect beacons of justice, and, like, they never do or say anything wrong. They have no internal struggle whatsoever. But anyway, also, while this is all going on, Luca's parents have started to catch on to what he's been doing this whole time. You know, same thing happened to me back in middle school when my parents found my fake out-of-town girlfriend who totally lives in Canada. They weren't mad. They just cried for a really long time. But so, they end up going to the surface to look for Luca, trying to figure out which human kid is theirs. You know how it is.
Hey guys, can I play too? Oh, sorry, I'm not used to legs.
Oh, okay.
Dracula, get the ball.
Come and get it.
Okay, but question, right? So why can't they just learn how to walk? Have they been here before? And why is she so good with not a football, a soccer ball?
Not our kid, not our kid.
Damn.
This mom just murders like 17 kids. Anyway, so the end of the movie, Luca and Julia end up doing the competition separately because, understandably, Alberto has run off to be alone forever. Luca uses Alberto's scuba suit from earlier so as not to turn back into a fish man. They both eat their respective absurdly large bowl of pasta, and then it's time for the bicycle part. Except
Damn.
it starts to rain, and as we saw earlier, when they touch water, they turn back into mermen, right? So what is he gonna do?
Just stay right there.
Alberto.
I'm coming for you.
Afraid of a little rain?
Hey.
Huh? For the last time, you two don't belong here. Get out of my town.
And so, the very end of the movie, everyone in town sees that Alberto is a sea monster, but Luca decides to throw the race and go save Alberto for being hunted by the
Okay. Question. How come they don't have powers? Y'all can't like use water gun or something?
townspeople, which of course means that Luca's cover's blown too, and then everyone's like, ah. However, by escaping from Urkele, they end up kinda sorta winning the race, question mark?
They are not even people!
Signora Marsigliese?
Technically, legally, yes, they won.
Won? Who cares if they won? They're sea monsters!
Hey, well, there's nothing in the rulebook that says a dog can't play.
Also, if they like fry them up, you know what I'm saying, in grease, you know what I'm saying, or air fry it, depending on how you like to eat your fish, is that cannibalism or is it just regular?
Basketball. And just like that, racism is cured forever. The humans and sea monsters live in harmony together and no one was ever mean ever again. Luca's parents realize that the little boy is growing up and needs to live his own life, so he ends up going to school with Julia. But she goes to school in some far-off city, and she was just staying in this town for the summer. And so when she goes back, she takes Luca along with her.
And I'm gonna assume he got harpooned because he kind of can't just. If it rains, he's kind of cooked.
I'm okay. Piacere. Girolamo. Trombetta.
That's not a real
Seriously?
world.
What does that mean?
No idea. Go find out for me, will ya?
And then Luca and Julia ride off together on the train, and that's pretty much the end of the movie. Yeah, this movie's definitely much smaller scale than something like Cars 3 or Coco or even Soul. But you know, there's something I really like about just how cozy it is. It almost feels like Kiki's Delivery Service or something like that, where like it's not about saving the world or reviving a dead god or whatever. It's just kids spending the summer together learning important life lessons.
I've never seen a Ghibli movie. Probably should.
Like the power of friendship and how older kids are always mean for some reason. I think this movie deserves a lot more than it got in terms of being in like the Pixar pantheon, you know? Not that it's this.
Whoa. First of all, crazy list. Put Incredibles up here. Bugs Life. No. Oh, wait. Yeah, put Incredibles up here. Dang. You know what's actually insane work? I have seen part of every single one of these movies, but I've never seen the ending. I've seen the end of Incredibles 2. I've seen the ending of Soul. I've seen the ending of Toy Story. Now I only seen like 15 minutes of Finding Dory. Cars 3, Cars 2. I've never seen the ending of Cars. Hmm.
Amazing, mind-blowing experience, but like, I don't know, it's just such a nice, cozy, easy watch. You know what I mean? This movie made some really interesting choices that I think make it end up being a lot more than the sum of its parts. Like with Julia's dad, for example, we see that he's missing an arm, and regarding that, he says this.
A sea monster ate it.
Ooh. Damn, my fault, gang. It's probably the cross-eyed one. But what else? Oh, just thinking. Oh yeah, he looks like the dad from Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, just straight eyebrows.
What?
No. This is how I came into the world.
It would have been so easy to fall back on like the usual trope of like he lost his arm when he was a kid because of a sea monster and he's been hunting them ever since, or his missing arm is the source of his jaded personality, like that one fish in Finding Nemo, you know? But no, he just has one arm and like it doesn't mean anything. He's lived a perfectly normal life up to now. Little things like this make this movie stand out, to me at least. I also love when Julia gets upset and she just yells cheese names.
Oh, Santa mozzarella. Oh, Santo gorgonzola. I need to back.
like it's dumb, but I don't know, it's just funny. Like, I wish we got a lot more movies like this, honestly. You know, I think I've said the same.
I'm not a big movie watcher because, like, I don't be like unless like Sonic 4. Like, I still need to see Sonic 3, Sonic 4, whatever. I'll be on YouTube most of the time. Movies, you know what I'm saying? I kind of lost faith in movies. Sinners was cool, but I like movies. I don't know. You feel me? So maybe I'll go watch it.
Thing about
I like it.
other movies like Bottoms and Lisa Frankenstein, 10 Things I Hate About You, I think is one as well. The thing I really like about Luca is that it never tries to be more than it is. They have a vision for what movie they.
Nah, that's a good take. That lots of shows need to follow that. They need to stop trying to be the show where they stop. I'm not sure like crimes against other races. You know what I'm saying? The alphabet communities movie. They need to just be a movie. Like if it's just let it be a movie. If it's about one thing, let it be about that thing. Don't try to make a kids movie have just undertones are cool, but don't try to have it overshadow the overall good story that's going on. You feel me? Like like if you're gonna add some social justice aspects, do it right. That's what all I ask. I don't care, bro. I don't care either way. As long as it's a good movie. A good movie is a good movie.
Wanted to make, and then they just did that. Like so many movies, especially Netflix movies for some reason, it feels like they're always trying to be so many different things, and they're trying to check a ton of boxes, and they're trying to be a little bit of this and a little bit of that. It's like they're trying to be like several different movies all together because just like more is better. We need tons of stuff. Heaven forbid the audience gets bored or has to think or anything like that. No, just throw a bunch of stuff at it. But movies like Luca, like it's very slow, and there's not something at the end where they have to, you know, fight a giant sea monster or they have to defend the town from something. Like it's nothing like that, you know? Like that's not what the movie is. And like nowadays with movies, I don't know, it's almost kind of backwards just because like you're taking a huge risk to make a movie like kind of slow and not have like 4 different plot twists with some like eldritch god coming to life at the end, and like just having a movie about kids winning a.
Real talk, I'm just gonna end it there. Like, comment, subscribe, and see you next time.